So today I'm going to show you how to rewrap your bars. This is something that I know a lot of people are intimidated by. They don't want to do it or they don't even want to try to do it. So I'm going to try to break it down today and make it as basic as possible. And I'm going to be doing it on my older Damani. I'm going to be using this weekend in a gravel race. I don't have a gravel bike, but I have gravel tires on here. I'll show you the bike. I'll show it to you in a little bit. But first things first, I'm gonna get this bar tape off of here, and then I'm not gonna show you how to do that. That's pretty self-explanatory. But if I run across anything odd, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll get that recorded. So we'll see you in a little bit, guys. Okay, so I got the bar tape off. No secrets hiding under here. Sometimes what you'll find is, let me zoom into that a little bit. Sometimes what you'll find is on the back of bar tape, there's a gluey section, tapey section. Sometimes that'll stick. It'll leave some residue like this. If it's been on there a long time, it's going to be all over the place. So you can see if you just kind of rub this off, it'll come right off. But yeah, nothing hiding under here. This is a Damani, so it's got some gel pads under here, which are still in pretty good shape. You can change those out. But yeah, no big secrets, pretty easy. Take your time. If your tape does start to break and rip, just, again, take your time, clean it up. You may need a razor blade to kind of shave some of this off. If you leave that on there, it's really no big deal. So yeah, let's show you what I'm doing. You can see there's a big chunk over here. But again, most of it will come off. I've had this bar tape on here for longer than I'd like to admit. This is not my main bike. I have a couple bikes, and I'm very fortunate to have a couple road bikes. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit more, and I'll show you what tape I'm using and how to put that stuff on. All right, so I got the tape off. I'm going to retape. So you only need a couple things: a pair of scissors, electrical tape, and new bar tape. I would say if this is the first time you're going to do this, and you're a little intimidated, get yourself some cheap cork bar tape. It's stretchy. It'll allow you to kind of make some mistakes and redo it. We all have to rewrap sometimes, and the cork is more forgiving. It's stretchy. It allows you to kind of manipulate and move the tape a little bit easier, and it doesn't always stick right away and make a pain in the ass. Sometimes if it's got the tape on the backside, which I'll show you, I'm not sure if this does. This is Fizik Bond Cush Soft. I kind of like the little bit of texture on my bar tape. You can use any kind. I would stay away from the really stiff bar tapes at first because they are a pain in the ass to put on. There's a couple little excuse me. There's a couple little tips and tricks to getting bar tape on there and getting it orientated in the right direction. So I'm going to get this open and we'll throw some tape on there. Don't be intimidated by this, guys. This is, to me, this is one of the easiest and best things you can do for yourself to freshen up your bike. I've seen way too many bikes come in and people just don't care about their bar tape. I ask if they want me to change it, and they're like, no, I don't really care. So this is one of the best things to do to freshen up your bar tape. This is first contact with your hands. I don't wear gloves most of the time. Sometimes I do, but for the majority of my rides, I do not wear gloves, except in the wintertime. But again, this is one of the best things you can do. I love white bar tape, but it just gets dirty way too fast. So we're going with black, and this is perforated, and this is not very stretchy, but I think I can handle that. This has on the back of it that piece of tape, like I said earlier. Sometimes this can be a pain in the ass to get started. And I'm going to leave all this in so you can see exactly what I do. And so when you peel that off, there's adhesive on the back side of this. It's not super sticky. It's just enough to kind of get it on there for you. So one thing I do is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that, sometimes at the end there's just a space. I try to cut that off. Some people will do an angle. I don't. I want to have enough tape on the end of the bar. Tilt this up a little bit so you can see it. I try to leave enough at the end of the bar so your bar end plug will have enough to grip on when you go to push it in there. So most people are really confused on how to start your bar tape. The best way to do it is you want to end up pulling it towards you on the top. So when you're gripping and pulling back on the bars, it's tightening. If you go the other way, when you grip and pull, it's going to loosen the bar tape. You're going to have gaps and seams. It's going to look crappy. You'll have to retape it, and it just doesn't look good. So through many years of practice, I found the best way is if you start underneath on the bottom, give yourself some overlap. You want to have a good quarter to maybe a half of the bar tape overhanging the end of the bar. One almost full wrap all the way around. That will give you enough meat on the bar tape for when you go to stick your bar end in, it'll have something to grip against. This is where it kind of gets tricky. So you want to overlap your bar tape and at an angle. Keep pulling. You want to have some good tension on there because you don't want this to be slipping all over the place. It's going to feel loose in some spots, but as you start to wrap, you'll see that it will work itself out. Keep tension on it and just take your time. Pull a little piece of the tape back, and you'll find most bar tape has what's almost like a chamfer or some angles on the inside. That's to help you overlap the bars, and it's not going to be all lumpy and chunky. And if I'm sniffling, I'm sorry, guys. I just got over a pretty bad cold. So take your time, and you can see I'm doing this as I'm talking to you. So you always want to check underneath, because that's where, if you have a spot, it's going to open up and you're going to have a big gap there. And again, it's going to take some time. And like I said, if you use the softer cork tape, it's more forgiving. This stuff is not very forgiving, but I'm kind of used to it, so not too bad. So you just keep wrapping, take your time, making sure that each former wrap is covered. Now, I'm going to reach in here. Most of these bar tape will come with this little cheater strip here. That goes around the clamp, covers the clamp. I don't use these because most of the time I'll just show you the technique, and it's really not necessary. And it just makes it a lot more frustrating when you get to that point. So again, now I don't know if you can see, but it starts to kind of bulge. With each wrap, that'll get covered. You won't see it, you won't feel it, and you want to make sure it's covered nicely. So when I get to about there, which is about a finger between the bar tape and the clamp, you're going to start this crazy part of the wrap, which is come underneath, up and over your clamp brake hose and shifter area. That's down. Now you're going to come back in, pull it nice and tight. And then start the wrapping on the top. So clamp is covered. The hood on the shifter is going to cover these little gaps. I'm never really too concerned with those. Again, you never really see that. This gets a little annoying. If you want, you can take scissors, cut that off, makes it a little easier, gets it out of the way. So now you can see I'm on the top part of the bar and I'm wrapping towards me, hit my light. And again, that's going to allow you to keep the bar tape nice and tight as you go. I always kind of keep one finger on there to hold the tension so your bar tape doesn't go boing and loosen up all the way around. Again, keep some tension on it, just pull it. Don't want to pull it too tight that you're going to rip your bar tape, which is a little bit easier with the cork stuff, but it also allows for you to get a little more forgiving with it. And you can see, you just continue around. With a little overlap on each one. And it's a finesse thing, guys. Take your time. You can see I just moved it over. Nice and steady, nice and slow. Take your time, take a look. This is where, if you did make any mistakes, sometimes you'll find that part of the tape on it just didn't make it, and the previous wrap might be sticking out. Unwrap and start over again. It takes time, it takes practice. If you get it on your first try, bravo. If not, just enjoy the process. This is your bike. I always kind of give a feel around, make sure everything is good. This is where you find where your old bar tape ended, and obviously you're at an angle now with the bar tape. I'd like to be able to show you some close-ups, but I'm only using one camera and I'm using my phone. I don't have any high-tech cameras and all that good stuff. So the one thing I like to do is, so now I'm at the end. I'm at the end where the bar tape stops on your handlebars. What I do is I back it off. I kind of look at the where the bar tape ends. Hold your bar tape out, and then you want to take a line. So if you think of this as a straight line at the top of your bars where your old bar tape ends, your bar tape is going to be kind of at an angle. You want to find that line and cut your bar tape at almost or as close to that angle as you can get. If it's not the same, it's not a big deal because you're going to cover it with tape anyway. It just gives it a little bit of a cleaner look. So there you go. Bar tape stop there. This is where it gets tricky because if you let go of this and the tape doesn't have adhesion on the back, it's going to unwrap. So this is where you kind of get creative. Hold your tape with your thumb, get that piece. I use electrical tape. Stick it before the end of your bar tape. Wrap it underneath. And I like to get at least half of the bar tape covered with tape and the other half on the bar. If you don't catch the bar, what's going to happen is sweat, water, moisture is going to get underneath there. The tape's going to come undone and your bar tape's going to get unwrapped. So I just do 3 or 4 wraps, pulling it. You want tension on the bar tape, or the electrical tape, sorry. Cut it, and this is where I don't pull it anymore for tension. I just stick it underneath. And that's it. I've seen some of the pro guys, they take a pick and heat it up and melt the bar tape, the electrical tape. So I find no reason to do that, because that's it. Pull your bar hoods back, covers up those gaps. Yep, looks good. Take your bar end plug. This is where it can be a little tricky. You want to tuck this stuff in the end there. If you don't have enough, your bar plug is not going to have enough to grip onto to kind of stay in there. Kind of just jam it all in. You can use a little soft hammer if you want. I use my hands. And that's it. One side done. Nice, clean, simple. I'm going to pull you off of there and show you the one side. So here you go, guys. There's your electrical tape. No cheater piece in there. You can't really see the clamp. Bar end plug in. Everything looks good, nice and tight. And there you go. So because I don't want to have this video being, I don't even know how long, it took me 6, 7, 10 minutes to do this one side, talking to you and kind of showing you what I was doing. I'm going to do this side off camera, and then I'll come back and we'll finish up the video and give you any little tips or tricks that might help you out along the way, guys. Okay? And voila, there you go, guys. Just wrap the bars. No real gaps where the levers are. And bar end plugs are in. Everything's nice and tight. And there you go, guys. Rewrapping bars. Don't let it intimidate you. Like I said, start out with just some cheap Chinelli or whatever kind of cork tape you can get your hands on. It's stretchy. It allows you to kind of remove it and replace it a couple more times to get the wraps right. You may not get it right your first time. If you do, awesome. If you don't, take your time. This is your bike, and this is you're holding on. This is really what helps you to be part of the bike. Take ownership of it. Make it your own. It should be something that you can enjoy. You can inspect your bars at the same time. You can look at everything, your shifters, your brake levers. Don't be intimidated by it. If you are, then bring it to the bike shop. There's no shame in that. I love wrapping bars. I love giving people their bikes back with this nice fresh bar tape, because it's the one thing, like I said, that you really have your hands on. You look down at it, it's nice and clean, it's fresh. It can just wake up an old bike. I've tried to show people in the past how to do it, but they just don't want to be bothered. I don't know why. I think because people mess it up the first couple times they do it, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's certainly not hard. Takes a little practice, but again, get yourself a couple rolls of the cheap stuff, So if you really do make a mistake and you pull too hard and you rip it, you'll have something to start over again with. I try to change mine every season on most of my bikes. I probably had this on here longer than I'd like to admit. But like I said, I'm doing an event this weekend, so I figured I would freshen up the old ride and have something to grip along the way. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. If there's something you want to see maintenance wise that I can give you a little tips on, I'm going to try to do some more of these videos where I can show you the easy way to kind of do some stuff that maybe a lot of people are a little worried or nervous about doing, and take some of that fear away. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below. Any comments, you think I suck, leave that down below too. But otherwise, I'm going to get this bike off the stand and get ready to go to work, because I'm sure I'm going to be doing this all day today. So hope you have a great day. Hope you take this challenge on yourself, rewrap your bars, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.